Okay, so we have moved all of our components. We've updated the public interface with the new import file structure for our components in our UI library. And we've deleted the source and lib folders that we were using before. So now the only thing we need to do is just test it all, make sure that everything's working. And to do that is we're going to build our UI library, run npm pack so we can get a tarball of the file, and then in another consuming application, we're going to reference that tarball so that we can get a very accurate representation of how somebody who's consuming our app and using, I'm sorry, not consuming our app, consuming and using our UI library can get an accurate representation of how they are going to interact and what they're going to see. So let us do that, okay? All right. So in here, inside of your split howdy, first thing we're going to do is we're going to build our application. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run pm script, and I'm probably going to do some video magic and skip through a lot of these long running processes. So this is the first one. I'm going to build our library. All right. Okay. So our build for our UI library has completed. So we've created now a dist folder. If we open that distribution folder out, we no longer have a source or lib folder in here. Instead, all of our components have been moved up to the root level of our distribution file. And they're all in here, as well as we've created all of the various different bundles that make up our UI library in these various different formats using the ng packager. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to do npm pack. So we go into dist, and then we go into split howdy, split, and then from here we run npm pack from our command line. And this is going to create a tarball file that we're going to be referencing in a consuming application. Okay, there you go. So the name of the tarball is called split howdy UI. Okay. Okay, so from here, we then switch over to our consuming application. So this is the consuming app. This is the same one that we used in our last tutorial. I have not provided a link for this because it's just a regular application that's just pulling in our consuming UI library. But pretty much all it does, if we take a look at it, is we do an npm install. We go into the package JSON and we do an npm install of our split howdy UI tarball, the TGS file, right? So we do npm install, we reference that location, which we already have here. And then in our app module, we do an import. And if you notice here, we are still doing it the old fashioned way of doing an import from our source and our lib. We are going to change this after we do, we pull in the latest file, tarball file. And in our HTML component, we're just calling in that lib howdy name and that lib howdy time. So I deleted the node module. So let me just reinstall my package, my everything that's required for this project. So install. We are going to do some video magic. Okay, so here, after we've done an npm install, a fresh npm install of the for our consuming application, we can see that we're now getting the red squiggly lines, and it's telling us that, hey, we cannot find this module inside of this deep nest import. So what we need to do now is, given that we've modified and we elevated all of our components up to the root parent level, sorry, all we have to do is just change the location, move them all up, And there we go. Now we don't have the red squigglies anymore. Let's take a look at our app component. Everything looks good. We run our npm script so we can start and run the build. So we can start and run the application so we can check it out. Okay, so now we have the app running. Let's take it for a spin. Let's go over to our browser, localhost 4200, refresh the page. And there we go. We have the two components working just fine. No errors, and we are done.